Yes, boss. Back in here again once again, man. You see the topic. People in survival have no time for love. If you never heard of that before, I'm glad I could break it down for you. So here's the deal, right? When you're in a state of survival, it doesn't necessarily have to mean like, yo, I live in the hood or you get what I'm saying. Things are bad for you. You get what I'm saying? You're like, I wouldn't necessarily say like on the downside of life, but you need to come up. You get what I'm saying? The last thing anybody in survival needs or is looking for is love. You get what I'm saying? Because whether you may have not thought about it like that, like when you're in a relationship or you're in love or whatever the case may be, that's like a whole nother job. You get what I'm saying? And being in love, sometimes it's not like you get a paycheck from it. You get what I'm saying? It could be a hit or miss. You get what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is being in love is very time consuming. And people who are in survival don't have time to waste. You get what I'm saying? So here's the deal, right? First off, as I stated, people in survival, they don't have time to focus on love. Because why? You may be in a rut right now. Let's say you living in somebody's house. You get what I'm saying? You got to get up out of there. You're the last thing you need to be working on is trying to find a girlfriend or find a boyfriend. You need to be finding a way how to get out of that person's house. You get what I'm saying? That's one of the main things you need to understand. When you're in survival, it could go in different ways. You could be down on your luck. You could be living in the hood. You could be in poverty. You could just not be doing so well and you want to further yourself. And the last thing you need to do is commit yourself to somebody, and that can consume time that you do not have, time that you cannot afford to waste when you should be putting that towards what? Getting out of being in that state where you shouldn't be surviving. You know what I'm saying? So here's the deal. Another one, being in survival carries too much stress and anxiety for people to worry about love. That's another thing. When you're in survival, you have to understand something. Let's say, yo, bills are due, right? You know for a fact rents due, waters due, electricity, whatever the case may be. The last thing you need to be worrying about, especially if you know you don't have it like that or you're trying to rub two pennies together to make something happen, love is the last thing you need. Because why? Love can be very strenuous. You get what I'm saying? Love, and I'm going to tell you like this, being in a relationship altogether, you shouldn't be trying to get in a relationship if you know you're not like financially there. You get what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with getting to know a person or trying to spend time with them. Nothing wrong with that. But to say, yo, I'm going to get in a relationship or I'm going to put something together to make something happen, you have to learn that that stuff can take some money and some time. You get what I'm saying? Unless you know how to finesse like that. But the last thing anybody needs right now or in a state of being in survival is to be looking for a relationship or being in love, because that's something that can be time consuming, especially when you're trying to boss up or the time is now for you to boss up. Love is the last thing that should be on the menu. You know what I'm saying? As well as that, being in love takes time and effort, and people, as well as I just stated, they don't have time for that. So I'm going to be real with you. Some people put in years in a relationship and they don't get anything out of it. They could get headaches. They could get stress. They might have gotten a few kids from it. Some people didn't end up going the marriage route. But you can understand this, that sometimes when you jump into a relationship, especially into a premature situation or something that you didn't fully think through, you just did it for fun or whatever the case may be, it can end up being time consuming, a headache, and it could be something that you could have put in a whole lot of time and effort into versus you putting that same time and effort into yourself to either change your situation, come up in life, boss up, do something different that could put you in a whole nother predicament. The last thing anybody needs is to be in a state where, yo, I'm heartbroken and guess what? The bills still need to be paid. Yo, you don't have no money. The last thing you have is a few dollars and this person took all your money, or you get what I'm saying? You lost your female to somebody, your dude ran off with somebody else. Like, you have to understand this. You have to understand, like, there's certain situations that just don't go together. Being broke and being like heartbroken as well is like a deadly combination. You don't want to be in that road. You get what I'm saying? You want to be in a situation where you have like a, I wouldn't say something to fall back on, but you know how to just put your ducks in order so you don't end up in a certain state. Because if you don't realize, or if you haven't figured it out, being in a state of love or being heartbroken, that can set you back in life to the point where you're not yourself anymore. You lose out in activities that you used to do. You lose off in production. You dip down in life in a lot of ways. Being in love and being heartbroken, it can set you on a roller coaster trip. So you have to understand that being in a state of survival and choosing love as well, that's like a dangerous combination. And as well as that, I'm not saying you cannot find love in crazy places. I'm not saying you can't be from the hood or you can't find love in the hood. What I'm saying is the typical person that's in the hood, they're trying to get out of that situation. The last thing, as I stated before, is they're looking for to spend their time and their effort on love or a situation that probably isn't going to be promised tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Next one. Due to distrust and people living in survival, it makes people hard to go for love. So you have to understand this as well. There are a lot of people who have been in situations where it never ended well. I chose love or I went after love. Guess what? I got heartbroken. And now I'm not going for that. I'm trying to go for something else. I'm trying to chase money. I'm trying to chase success. I'm trying to better myself. I'm trying to get up out of the hood. I'm trying to do whatever. Anything to boss myself up or change my situation. Love is the last thing. That's why you have a lot of people who have so-called situationships, because on their journey of life, trying to venture out, boss up, they might have met people along the way that they might have made ties with, or things might have not working out, but we have feelings together. It just probably didn't progress the way that it wanted to. And that's why you have to understand this. Some people, I wouldn't say everybody has went through something before that has left them broken or in a rut where you're not yourself or you don't trust people anymore. But you have to, at some point in life, move forward. And that derives from the last thing that I said. Some people get into situations where they get in love or they fall in love and things didn't pan out the way that they wanted it to. It ended sour. And guess what? I'm not how I used to be. I lost a lot of money from this relationship, or I sacrificed time on this and nothing came back from me. Some people are saying, screw love. Let me go ahead and invest in what's important, something that's guaranteed. Let me work on my future. Let me build myself up for tomorrow. So if something like this does happen, guess what? At least I'm not broken, heartbroken. You get what I'm saying? Everybody thinks different into how, what would work for them. But all I'm saying is, people in survival, understand what I'm saying. The last thing they're worrying about is being in love. As well as that, lastly, some people are taught that love can wait. Surviving is important. And this is very important for you to understand as well, right? Some people were taught, like example, there are some men who are taught, to have hella women, use them and get what it is that you can out of them. There were some women who are taught, use men and get what it is that you can up out of them. Love can wait. Everybody was taught something different. But all in all, I'm trying to tell you like this, right? There are some people who are so much deep into a state of survival, sometimes they cannot see love as well. Some people are used to surviving and going through life trying to level up or get to the next level, that love can pass them by and they're like, probably when they collect their thoughts, or where maybe they get to a point where they finally reach their destination or their land of milk and honey or whatever it is that they wanted. That's when they can stop in their mind and think, this person was good to me, or this person really meant a lot to me. Some people get blinded by these things because why? Some people are deep in a state of survival, and you have to understand that just because somebody doesn't live in the hood doesn't mean that they can be in a state that they can't be in a state of survival. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I say it like that is because there are some people that have been through certain situations in life, as I stated, that led them to be in a state of being in survival. So I'm going to give you an example about that. Let's say somebody used to be homeless, right? And they witnessed their mother having to be evicted. So they probably started to scam, or they started to rob, or they started to hit licks. And the feeling of knowing, I'm not really surviving as much as what I used to. I have a little bit of money. It brings them comfort. but they're still not where they want to be. You get what I'm saying? So they continue in the acts of being in survival, hoping to get to their heaven or their place of comfort where they don't have to revert or go back to their ways of being in survival. They can do away with those ways. You get what I'm saying? It goes different for different people. But all in all, I'm just trying to tell you like this, right? In life, just put it like this. When you're in a state of survival, sometimes you're very much blinded because you're on a mission. Listen what I'm telling you about this, right? When you're in a state of survival, you're lacking, you need things, or so you tell yourself. But sometimes when you're on a downside of life, that's when you're able to see a lot. You're able to experience a lot, feel a lot of things. You know what it's like to be in poverty. You know what it's like to be down. You know what it's like to be in lack and not have anything. So that makes you appreciate the times when you actually do have something. And that's why I preach to people, try your best to do something in the best way possible, attaining things the right way, working hard for what it is that you want. So you don't have to look over your shoulder when you get older. Hey, I screwed this person over. Hey, I robbed this person. Hey, I backdoored this person. You want to be a person where you can say, yo, I did things the best way possible and I tried my hardest. Yes, life is going to be hard. It's never promised that the path is or the path of life is going to be easy. No, nobody ever said that. All I'm trying to tell you is this. Throughout life, just try your best to not be so deep in a state of survival as to where you cannot recognize who is for you and who isn't. That you can actually recognize and see what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. Certain habits you should do away with, and certain habits you should get better on. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, remember this: words can help you, they can hurt you. But here on my channel, I use them to uplift you because everybody's a champion. Nobody's a loser, man. Just remember this. In life, I understand that everybody's circumstance is different, but just remember this. Being in a state of survival, I'm not saying that you cannot benefit from that in a positive way where you use those times where I never used to have anything. Now I could buy whatever it is I want. I'm not saying you can't find beauty in being in survival. But what I'm saying is don't be so blinded to the point where you burn resources, you screw up people, you burn bridges with people, just different things that you know you do not need. Because I'm telling you right now, in this journey of life, nobody is perfect. We're all going to need somebody. And you don't want to be one of those people where you were so deep in survival, so narcissistic, so blinded, so worldly, so carnal that I'm going to use everybody. I'm going to screw over my friends. I'm going to use this person. I'm going to be a downright filthy person, just be in survival just to get what it is that I want, dog. Eventually you screw your face like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be one of those type of people, man. It's your boy 444 the world, man. Peace.